This is the new MacBook Pro M5 Max. And yeah, obviously it's faster. But what makes this machine so interesting to me is not just video exports or benchmarks. It's the fact that this is supposed to be a laptop for real, fast, local AI usage. The M5 Max features an 18-core CPU and up to 40-core GPU, which we have inside here. And every GPU core has its own neural accelerator. And apparently the Pro and Max should deliver 4 times faster AI performance than the previous generation. So I wanted to push it with AI coding, video editing, prompting, file analysis, and more. But first, let's talk about their new internal SSD, because apparently their speed doubled. This is, for example, useful for loading LLMs that are stored locally, because they are moved from the SSD to the RAM when used. So in my tests on the previous MacBook Pros, it took 12.9 seconds to load a model like Heldencode Next, with a size of 65 gigabytes. On the M5 Max, it now took 8.8 seconds. Lightroom imports of raw images are supposed to be faster too, and I had to try it. So I imported 500 new RAW files into my Lightroom, and on the new generation of MacBook Pro with a double SSD speed, it took 22 seconds. And that makes perfect sense, because faster storage means faster file imports, faster preview generations, and faster metadata work. And if you use Adobe apps, this gets even more relevant, because Adobe loves RAM. Adobe also loves going beyond RAM. And this is where the SSD comes into play, because you can set your SSD as a scratch disk, which will be used during your work in Adobe Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, whatever. And having a faster SSD also means a smoother workflow. When setting up this M5 laptop, I also migrated from my older MacBook, older M4 Max with 3.5 terabyte of data. I used a Thunderbolt 5 cable and got up to 2.5 gigabytes per second transfer speeds. So it was done in around 1.5 hours. Now let's finally talk about local AI usage. This is where this MacBook should get interesting, right? Not because Apple used the word AI 100 times when presenting this laptop, but because we finally have a MacBook that takes a big leap compared even just to the previous generation. The M5 Max supports up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory and up to 614 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth. This specifically helps to run some of the largest local AI models on your device locally. So the first thing I tested was the local ChatGPT, aka LM Studio. I've loaded the DeepSeek R1 model with 70 billion parameters, and I'm just asking a simple question. So what are MCP servers? I just press enter, and I'm curious to see what is the token speed. I definitely got the feeling that the M5 Max is much faster in its answer. Yeah, much faster. And in the end, we'll see the token speed per second. The new generation was faster and used much more tokens, which is a great stat. But now let's use some file input. So I will just add a simple PDF file, attach file, upload file, and we're choosing a random handbook that I found on Google. I don't even know what it is about, so we're about to find out. And now let's say, describe the content of this document. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, of course, it needs an internal model to read the files. And this model loaded so much faster on the M5 Max. Actually, I'm curious to see how much battery this takes, because it's actually super intense. About the same, between 105 to 120 watts on the new and on the old MacBook. Okay, let's go back. The new one is finished. It managed to do 9.36 tokens per second, and it used again more tokens and was faster. The M4 Max used 8.82 tokens per second, which is slightly slower. Being able to use these things locally is gold, especially when working on NDA projects, client projects, or internal documents. If you liked this video so far, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Now, let's take this even further. Can this machine become the backbone of local AI coding workflows? I love using Google Anti-Gravity for coding, and what I did to use it locally with AI was I started the server in LLM Studio, I selected the model Heldencode Next, which is one of the largest for coding, and then I started Anti-Gravity. You have to install the add-on Klein to be able to use LLM Studio as your server, as your AI model. So Heldencode Next will be loaded from LLM Studio and then it can be used. Now first I told it to create an implementation plan on how you would build a sales page within PHP form. And funnily enough, the M5 Max only took 10 seconds to fulfill this request. And then I waited for the M4 Max, I waited, still waited, and I stopped waiting after 40 seconds. That's when it finished. So this difference was huge. On the next run, I tracked the token usage. And yeah, so I put one of the implementation plans to work. The AI should actually create the sales page. I used the same implementation plan on both models, the M4 Max and M5 Max. And I saw on the M4 Max, it really took step by step, line by line, it created the file. While on the M5, it seemed like nothing happened. But apparently on the M5, it doesn't give me line by line, it instantly gave me the full file. After, what was it? 50 seconds. And the M4 Max took 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Now when keeping the used tokens in mind, I had the stats there. I calculated a token speed of 162 tokens a second on the M4 Max and 280 tokens per second on the M5 Max. So it's way, way faster. And this is no longer just AI marketing. This is Apple clearly showing this is a real upgrade when it comes to AI power. But this laptop obviously shouldn't be just a daily life laptop or a laptop for developers. It should be a hybrid laptop, and especially for me, the video editing capabilities were interesting. So I took a look at the advantages for creators. So when, for example, talking about Adobe Premiere, only the AI tools that use the GPU and neural accelerators will profit from a CPU and GPU upgrade. Some AI tools, like I really tried a few, for example the new AI-powered object masking. Tracking the same clip took 1 minute and 24 seconds on the M4 Max and 1 minute 22 seconds on the new generation, so it was just 2-second difference, which means this tool doesn't really take advantage of the new GPU power and more cores. So it didn't matter for this. But there are many other tools that take advantage of these things. What I found out is, for example, the Enhance Speech tool took 14.5 seconds on the M4 Max and just 8.5 seconds on the M5 Max. On the same clip, same 20 seconds clip, and now calculate that up to a 40-minute interview clip. This is so much faster, and yeah, that's insane. And another big difference was the Adobe Premiere Media Analysis. There's this new search panel, you can look for camera movements, etc. in all your clips that have been imported into your project. So I imported 25 videos into my Adobe Premiere project, and it took 1 minute and 25 seconds to analyze all the videos on the M4 Max. On the M5 Max, on the other hand, it just took 52 seconds. Way faster. Again, usually you have more than 25 clips. I have hundreds of clips, usually for every video project. Now let's go even further, because a few weeks ago, I just took 2 or 3 days to develop an Adobe Premiere extension which analyzes your clips and uses local VLM models, text recognition models, and so on to really build insane metadata of your clip, like the camera movements, lighting conditions, the products that are shown in the video, text that appears, descriptions of the videos, and so on and so on. So it's lots of metadata, and this can be used in the future to automatically find the best clips that could be added as a B-roll to your existing timeline. And it's so insane what you can build by now in Google Anti-Gravity. It was so much fun. Like, I tried my extension on the M4 Max, and for analyzing one clip, it took 36 seconds, which seems a lot, but if you saw the metadata that's being collected, you'd understand. On the M5 Max, it took a good leap. Instead of 36 seconds, it took 29.5 seconds. Again, usually you'll analyze hundreds of clips, huge difference. And all these AI performance improvements are just another part of why the M5 Max feels more than just like another faster MacBook. Using all these small AI features that will grow and grow in Adobe Premiere and other video editing software, it's just a big leap. And that combo of faster CPU, GPU, SSD, RAM is just what makes it compelling. Unfortunately, even though I like the design, I would have loved to already see a few changes, but I think we have to wait for another generation. So regarding ports and design, nothing changed. But the inside finally has been upgraded, so that's what matters. It's a serious on-device AI laptop. And I'm really excited to hear your comments about this MacBook. Happy creating, see you in the next one.